In today's video, we are checking out one of the coolest superhero mods available, and this time it's all about becoming the Devil's Bounty Hunter, aka Ghost Rider, with the search to sign the contract, gain insane abilities to fight with, and even the power to transform other creatures. So let's just jump straight into it. So I think it's safe to say that we can all agree on one point, and that point being that Ghost Rider is definitely one of the coolest heroes of all time. And with the mod I'm showing you guys today, we can actually become the Ghost Rider. And the way that we get started with this is that you need to sign a contract. Oh, and you also need it to be nighttime as well. So the way that this works is you're going to have to find some villagers and make sure that they haven't been employed by any of the sort of like job blocks right here. You want to make sure that they are completely unemployed. And this could be in any random village or any random street just like this one, or in this case, a McDonald's. So this is based on random chance right here. Obviously, we've got it set to nighttime. We've got an unemployed villager right here. And all you want to do is just keep right clicking. And eventually you will actually get something that pops up. And then this is what's going to pop up eventually. It does take a few tries, but eventually you are going to get this contract showing up right here, which basically just explains that you're going to be selling your soul, all that good stuff, you know, nothing too crazy to worry about. Click that little box down there. They just completely disappear. We got the achievement, and then this is where it gets really, really cool. So after signing the contract, you might realize that nothing too crazy is actually happening yet, which is where we need to basically go near one of these undead creatures right here. So in this case, a zombie, and you'll burst into flames just like we see in the comics, which looks really, really cool with all the different particles. You've got the smoke and the fire and everything. And boom, there we go. That is so sick. And there we go right there. We are now officially the Ghost Rider. So as far as I'm aware, any sort of undead creature or like mob that can hurt you will basically trigger this transformation automatically. So you don't even have to do anything. As long as you're around these guys and there's danger around, you'll just transform straight away. So whilst we are transformed right here, I can show you guys some of the stats you get. You do get slowness 3, you get wither 2, resistance 4, strength, what is that, 7, and invisibility 2. And at first I thought having slowness would be pretty tough. You know, you can't really run anywhere, but you can actually just sprint normally if you really wanted to. I think it's just to make it extra dramatic when you're walking towards people. And if you're curious, you do get like the rider's jacket right there, the boots, the pants, and the skull itself, which literally has 1000 armor. So yeah, you're going to be pretty hard to kill when you're in this form. So whilst we're in the Ghost Rider form, we do get a few cool abilities. The first one being passive, where we are insanely strong. There we go. We can literally just one-tap pretty much anyone. We also get the classic penance stare move, which we hold this guy right here. We stare into his soul, and eventually we will actually send him all the way back down to the underworld right there. And from first person, this looks absolutely horrifying as well. And as far as I'm aware, this doesn't actually just work on undead creatures either. You can pretty much do it to every creature. So if we go up to this iron golem right here, there you go right there. It's just going to work every single time without fail. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that move right there, like the penance stare, is meant to actually like cause guilt and everything that that person's done. So don't feel too bad, because that iron golem definitely must have done something. So as you saw right there, that is a pretty powerful ability. You can just instantly one tap and send people to the underworld. But one of my favorite abilities with this mod is that if we actually pick up any sort of like basic weapon, it is going to turn it into the Ghost Rider variant right here. Look at this. So we've got the Hell Sword right here, which you can see has its own like unique texture, and it's also fully enchanted, and this does 10 attack damage with 1 attack speed, so it's pretty damn quick. But it's also the same with the axe right here, which we get the Hell Pick. Again, a completely new like texture and model for this thing. We get a variant of the pickaxe, and we also get the Hell Bow as well. And this bow right here just looks so sick. And with it being a Ghost Rider weapon, it doesn't just shoot normal arrows, as there we go, they are completely already inflamed right there. And just the speed that you can actually fire this thing is ridiculous. So if we go into survival mode right here, I can show you what some of these tools do. Like the Hell Pick right here, so it doesn't actually just mine stuff normally. Every now and then it'll break like a huge chunk of it, as you see right there. And you don't actually get the drops or anything like this. It's more so just like trying to get out of somewhere, or, you know, chase somebody if they're hiding behind a wall or something like that. And it's the same story with the axe, where it will take a couple of blocks every now and then. But what's really cool about these weapons is that it will actually send them straight to the overworld pretty much straight away. With any of these weapons, as you see, they just completely disappear. And this goes the same with any of the weapons. So if I even use like a pickaxe right here, there you go. The same thing's going to happen right there. So as the night comes to an end and the sun starts to rise, we'll actually undergo another transformation just like that. And then we also faceplant the floor. You know, it's pretty exhausting being possessed for the whole night. So if I go in survival mode right here, you'll see that we are getting very, very weak right now. And the best way to combat this is literally just to stay indoors for a little bit and be out of direct contact with the sun. And you might be thinking, the Ghost Rider powers are really cool and stuff, but if I can't go out in the day, what the hell am I supposed to do? And that's where basically any form of helmet that you have will actually work. So you can just basically wear a helmet and go out during the day normally. But the the whole weakness in the sun thing will actually go away once we level up to the second level of the Ghost Rider. So if we actually press equals, you can actually see how long you've got to go until the second level. So for me right there, it says 13%, and that percentage will go up basically anytime you're transformed or taking down enemies. And if you are checking this out in creative mode, you can actually go into the config and select the different levels, but it does say down here that if you are changing the levels, it will reset the survival progress. So if I go ahead and select level 2 right here, we've got the achievement, Spirit of Vengeance. So as you can see by the text right there, it says level 2 achieved, press sneak and transform to change on command. But since this is only level 2 right here, we can't actually transform in the daylight. So now that we've set it back to midnight right here, we go ahead and crouch, press that, and there we go. Now, I don't know why, but for some reason it does alter my skin a little bit here, but eventually you will go back to being the classic Ghost Rider. And I'm pretty sure you could just keep transforming or detransforming at will, just like this. So at least now you don't actually have to run into a zombie to be able to transform. So definitely a nice little upgrade compared to the first level. And before I forget, I do want to show you guys one of the funniest little abilities that you can do with this guy. And that is that if we actually have anything raw down here, so like raw chicken, raw iron, or even raw gold, we can just hold that up to our head right there and basically smelt it. So you can see that it completely changes as if you were a furnace. So, and this also works with food right there, as you see. So yeah, if you are possessed by the Rider, it basically means that you never have to make a furnace ever again. Like, you could just keep smelting stuff on top of your head. But just like before, as soon as it becomes morning, you are going to transform back, do the same little animation again, and then you are completely back to your normal self. And I will say that whilst you are in human form, you aren't actually going to be able to use any of the abilities or anything like that. So you are just basically going to be as vulnerable as anybody else. So you definitely have to pick and choose your moments to be able to use your abilities. And even though there isn't actually a Ghost Rider bike in this mod, any horse that you actually find when you're in the Ghost Rider form, if you go ahead and right click them, there you go right there. And look at this thing. So we've actually completely transformed the horse into our own sort of like ride right here. And I mean, just look at this. Like, this is so cool. It'd be really cool if it had the same particles as like the head, but it looks so cool. You got like the glowing belly right there. You got the eyes and everything, the spine. And yeah, this isn't just for looks either, because this thing is just insanely quick. Like, look at this thing. And it also jumps extremely high. Check that out. Or even just jump on top of buildings just like that. I mean, goddamn. Yeah, you would not want this charging towards you. And just a front view of what that sort of transformation looks like. There you go right there. So it basically bursts into flame, and then the horse does completely transform into this nightmare version right here. And it's only when you dismount the horse that it will turn right back into its original form. So if we go back to our human form right here and actually progress onto level 3, and what's different about this level is that we can actually just completely transform during the day right there. So there's literally nothing holding you back now. And a really nice visual change that we get when we do reach level 3 is the blue flames. And yeah, the sunlight will not do anything against us now. We are just completely chilling whilst being Ghost Rider in completely broad daylight. So now that we can see a little bit better, I do want to show you guys the final weapon that is available in this mod. And that right there is the chain. And if you know Ghost Rider, this is pretty much his signature style. So if we go ahead and pick that up, hover over that, there we go. We do get the Hellfire chain as well. And as you can imagine, this thing is just as powerful as all the other weapons, if not even more powerful, just sending everyone to the underworld. And a nice little bonus about this chain right here is that we can actually slot it in our necklace slot right there, and then it goes all the way around us. Look at that. That is about as classic Ghost Rider as you can get. So if you constantly wanted a weapon to use, but you didn't want to like clog up your inventory slots or anything like that, this is definitely the move right here. But when it comes to the abilities, I have definitely saved one of the coolest ones for last, which if we just go and hop in the end right here, and being Ghost Rider in the end is honestly something I thought I'd never see, but here we are. And jump on top of the dragon, right click just like the horse before. And I did have to turn shaders off for this because it was lagging like crazy, but here we are right here. Look how sick this is right here. We have the actual Ghost Rider Ender Dragon right there. And you even do like a super sick pose when you are flying with it as well. The wings look so sick. So yeah, if you're in a battle or anything and you needed a bit of extra help, yeah, this right here is definitely the way to do it. This is just so sick. So that's gonna cut it right there. If you guys love Ghost Rider or superhero mods in Minecraft, like, you definitely have to try this one out. And it's also by the same developer as the Batman one. So again, just the absolute level of detail is just nuts. And if you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.